Hello and welcome to United Way's St. Lucie and Okeechobee's 2025 through 2026 Application Workshop. I'm Jeff Howard, Director of Collaborative Impact at United Way of St. Lucie and Okeechobee. The mission statement at United Way of St. Lucie Okeechobee is to improve lives by mobilizing the caring power of our community. UWSLO envisions a community where all individuals and families achieve their human potential through education, income stability, and healthy lives. This year's applications are open up to basic needs and youth opportunity, which is formerly known as education. Basic needs come out every year as one-year grants, so these grants will be from 2025 through 2026 only. Youth Opportunity Awards will go from 2025 through 2028 as 3-year grants. Those who are funded under financial stability will still receive 1 year of funding, 2025 through 2026. Those programs received under health have 2 years remaining. They will go from 2025 through 2027. The process at United Way's grants. Here's a brief overview. UW publishes the grants. Agencies submit applications. UW staff review and screen the grants. Then volunteer panels will rank and score the applications and presentations. The Community Investment Committee will review panel recommendations from the Volunteer Committee. Once those recommendations are reviewed by the Community Investment Committee, they'll go to the full board for review and discussion. Once it's finally reviewed by the board and the funding awards are approved, the board will award grants. Looking at the basic needs funding priority, we're looking at programs that serve the low to moderate income households that use a safety net of services that support their basic needs, such as food, shelter, and housing. In the application, in the Outcomes section, you'll select your outcomes to measure through the grant. The outcomes and quantity measures for basic needs are as follows. Number of households who received emergency assistance, such as rent, mortgage, or utility assistance. Number of households who receive food assistance. Number of individuals who receive prescription assistance, primary medical vision, or mental health care services, and etc. The second funding priority, now known as Youth Opportunity, used to be Education, is split up into 2 sections in the application. Those that are looking at childhood success, which is from birth to 3rd grade, and those programs that are labeled as Youth Success, looking at grades from kindergarten to 12th grade. For childhood success, we're looking at children who enter school ready to learn and succeed, and children will do well in school. For youth success, we're looking at youth do well in school, graduate on time, and are ready to succeed in post-secondary education and a career path. Some of the outcomes and indicators that will be available for youth opportunity. Firstly, childhood success. We're looking at number of children from birth to 5 participating in high-quality early education and care programs. Number of parents/caregivers of children, of those children birth to 3rd grade age, provided with information, resources, tools, trainings, and or teaching skills to promote early learning and social emotional development, and etc. Some continued result indicators: percent of children served birth to 5 years of age who achieve and or make progress toward developmental milestones. Number of parents/caregivers served who report increased positive engagement and or development with children under their care. Moving to the outcomes and indicators that will be available for the youth success category, we're looking at number of youth kindergarten to 12th grade participating in out-of-class time programs and or receiving individualized academic or social emotional supports. We're also looking at number of youth who receive job skills training, including technical and/or soft skills, interest skills assessment and counseling, and/or internships. Also, number of parents/caregivers of youth provided with information, resources, tools, trainings, and/or teaching skills to promote youth success in school. It could also be number of youth developmental staff trained to provide quality programs and services. Continuing the youth success outcomes and indicators, we're looking at percent of youth served who maintain, who earn passing grades in core subject areas, percent of youth served who maintain satisfactory or improved school attendance, percent of youth served who develop soft skills, percent of youth served who transition from middle school to high school on time, percent of youth served who gain post-secondary employment, job training, further education, or credentials, and percent of parents/caregivers support who report increased positive engagement with youth under their care. Looking at the application timeline for this process, March 3rd, the applications become available. March 31st, the applications will be due by 5 p.m. in e-Cimpact. April 14th, you'll be notified of your presentation date/time. Notice the dates below for basic needs, youth opportunity, and the Okeechobee section panels. If you have a conflict for that day, please reach out in advance and we'll try to work something out in our schedule. For April 28th, 29th, the basic needs panel presentations will take place in the United Way office in St. Lucie. April 30th and May 1st, the youth opportunity panel dates will take place in the United Way Okeechobee office in Port St. Lucie. May 7th, the Okeechobee panel dates will take place, and that location is to be declared. June 23rd, the notification of funding awards will be sent out. That date is subject to change. July 1st of 2025, the new funding cycle will begin. Now moving into the application, we'll look at the 3 different parts of the application. Part 1, we have our agency information section. Part 2 is the program information section, which includes a program-specific budget. And then Part 3, we have our required documentation to submit. For Part 1, we have our agency information, which is going to be an organization overview form, agency narrative form, which includes your board effectiveness, United Way standards of excellence, and our counterterrorism compliance form. Application Part 2, we have a program information section. The forms are as follows. We have the program information form, the proposal narrative form, program budget form, the budget narrative form, program demographics, and the program outcomes. Part 3 of the application is the required documentation. Please submit the following documents: your IRS 501c3 letter, list of current board of directors including addresses, financial statements, which are going to include the income statement and balance sheet, your most recent completed audit, the audit management letter and your agency's response if applicable, your most recent IRS Form 990 including all schedules, your last 3 board minute meetings, and your measurement tool to track your outcomes. For any application assistance, please reach out to me at jeff.howard@uwslo.org. Again, the applications will be due March 31st by 5 p.m. We'll now go through the application and each form and overview that. Once you sign into your organization's e-Cimpact homepage, look to the left under Apply/Report and hit Request Grant Application. Here you'll see the 2025 to 2026 core/stanch application will open up. You hit Continue. And this is going to open up the eligibility tool. Please go through and select all your answers. And once completed, select Next. Once you get to the next page, review your answers, make sure they're correct before hitting Complete Registration. If approved, you'll get a message at the top saying you've been submitted and the email confirmation has been sent to you. Go to the bottom and hit Continue. Now you have access to the grant application. Here you'll find the basic instructions, the timeline, and everything else you should need to continue the application. Remember, at least one program is required for this application for funding. To add a program to this application, select a program from the drop-down menu right here. Or if there's no drop-down menu displayed, select Create a New Program. Create a new program here. Select the program that you want to apply for and hit Assign Selected Program to the form packet. Hit Complete Registration. Continue. And now you'll notice below you have access to the program level forms. Now let's go through each of the forms in a brief overview. First, we have section 1, again is the agency overview. We'll start with the organization overview. Select your executive director, address, agency phone, fax if available, agency email, your mission statement, number of years in operation, and the overview and focus of your agency, as well as the total agency budget. Once completed, hit Save My Work and return to previous page, and you'll be brought back to the home where you can continue on with the application. The next form under Agency Organization Forms is the agency narrative. Here you'll describe your board effectiveness and describe the commitment and involvement of the board and agency's long-range planning and ongoing program evaluation. Also the number of times your board meets with quorum each year. Once completed, again, select Save My Work and return to previous page. The third form under the agency organization forms is the Standard of Excellence. Once you complete that form, hit Save My Work and return to the previous page. Next is the Patriot Act Compliance form. Once completed, you can hit Save My Work and return to previous page. Within the agency overview section, you'll see your agency attachments. Click on agency attachments and it's going to open up the list of each attachment that's required to submit. Notice the accepted file types under each attachment. Once all forms are submitted, you can hit Save/Upload Attachments and return to previous page. Moving on to part 2, we're looking at the program section of our application. The first form is program information. This is an important form. You're going to want to start with this one when you're working on your program forms because this is going to correspond directly to your outcome form. Particularly, we're looking at the focus area. You're going to want to make sure you select your correct focus area first in your program information form. If you don't select this, you won't have the ability to select your outcomes and indicators on your outcome form. So for me, I'll go ahead and select Youth Success, which is grades K through 12. Here, you can see your service area. If your program serves St. Lucie County only, you can have that option. If you serve only Okeechobee, you select Okeechobee County. If your program serves both counties, you can hit here, both St. Lucie and Okeechobee counties. Going down, looking at the program summary report, make sure the amount that you select, or rather input here for the amount requested from funder for 2025 to 2026, make sure that corresponds in your budget correctly and is the same number. And we'll look at that later. As well as your total proposed program budget for 2025 to 2026. Make sure that is the same number in your budget, as well as these other corresponding figures. Unduplicated number of children to be served in 2025 through 2026. Make sure these numbers are going to correspond in your demographics form. Same thing with the adults. Once this form is complete, you can hit Save My Work and return to previous page, where you can then go on to the proposal narrative form. Here you're going to have some opportunity to dive a little deeper into your programs and how they work, and supply as much information that you'd like up to the limit for each character of the sections. You'll see some are shorter than others. But it's going to be questions such as describing your programs, how the program relates to your organization's mission, identify the needs and the problems and opportunities to be addressed in your program, explain how the program addresses directly or indirectly the indicator that you selected in your outcomes. Indicate the timeline for implementation and the schedule of services for your program. Detail how the program ensures appropriate training and professional development upon hire through the span of employment. Under program capacity, select the number of clients this program can serve at the maximum level. If your program is free, has a sliding scale, fixed fee, you can select or deselect all that apply to your program. You turn your clients away based on ability to pay, yes or no, in the drop down. Once complete, you can hit Save My Work and return to previous form or page. The next form we'll look at is the program budget form. Here you'll see 3 columns to be filled. We have our 2023-2024 actual audited column, the 2024-2025 projected / actual column, and your proposed budget for 2025-2026. For these figures, please input your fiscal year figures. United Way's fiscal year, for example, is July through June. Yours may be January through December, so please put those figures for your full year, so we have the whole perspective. The only item for your United Way, St. Lucie, and Okeechobee requests, please put the full year of funding in that column, which again would be July through June. The funding begins in July and it ends in June, but we want to see your full year of figures in that item. Going through the budget, if you have any items that you need to itemize, such as other Florida state funds, funds from other sources, miscellaneous, please select the blue text, which will open up another page for you to label the funds or the expense, whatever it may be, and put this amount for each year as it correlates to that. Once complete, you can hit Save My Work, return to previous page, and those figures will now populate within your budget form. Notice here at the bottom, We have revenues over your expenditures. We would like to see a balanced budget, so ultimately we would like to see these numbers at 0, which would show a balanced budget. If they're black, that's going to mean your revenues are over your expenses. If they're red, that means you have more expenses than your revenues. The budget is broken up here with your revenues at the top and then your expenses below it. And again, your net income at the final spot below. Once completed, you can hit Save My Work and return to previous page. The next form is going to be your budget narrative form, where you can supply more information regarding to your budget, such as if your expenses exceed income by 15% or more, please explain here. The next is to provide a narrative of your program budget, including a description of the resources needed to successfully deliver the program and an explanation of which funds are already committed, which may be pending, and which are a projection for future. The final question here is provide any additional information that will assist the community investment volunteers to understand your program budget and or the requested amount of funding. And please also provide a narrative explanation for any amounts listed on your budget items as in kind and or other. Once this form is complete, you can hit Save My Work and return to the previous page. We'll now look at the program-specific unduplicated client demographics form. Same thing as the budget. You're going to have 3 different columns, each column pertaining to individual fiscal years. We have 2023 to 2024, 2024 to 2025, 2025 to 2026. Each section is broken up. We have our race and ethnicity. Age. For the age, you will have to select the blue text to itemize each of the amounts. Once complete, hit Save My Work and return to previous page, and those figures will populate. Same thing as the total number of adults. Hit the blue text to itemize those. Next is income levels. The final section is going to be the geographic location. Again, you will have to select the blue text for each of the city's zip codes to go in and itemize those accordingly. Once complete, you can hit Save My Work and return to previous page, and they will populate within your form. Once your whole demographics form is complete, hit Save My Work and return to previous page, and we can continue with the outcomes 2025-2026 form. I want to make note again, make sure you complete your program information form prior to going in and trying to complete your outcomes form. You're going to want to make sure that your focus area is selected for your appropriate focus area to your program. Otherwise, your outcomes and indicators won't be available to select. Your page is going to look like this. So when you go in, you can hit select your new outcome statement. Again, my program is under youth success, so my outcome statement is related to the youth success impact area. I'll select that outcome statement, hit Save My Work and continue. On this page, I have to select a minimum of 1 indicator, but you can select as many as you would like. I'm going to select number of youth participating in out-of-class time programs and number of youth who receive job skills training. And you can hit Save My Work and continue. Now our indicators are populated in our table and we can input our data. So here's, we're going to put our projected figures. Say your program serves 100, and out of the 100 served, 85 complete the program and achieve this indicator. Then you'll put that number there. So you're achieving 85%. Say on the next indicator again, you serve 100 and say 80 went through the program and achieved this indicator, you would put 80 as you're achieving. Once complete, you can hit Save My Work and mark as completed. And return to Overview page. Now we'll look at the program attachments. Again, the only program attachment is going to be the tool you use to track and measure your outcomes. This might be as simple as an Excel sheet. It could be some kind of software that you have. Please just take a picture of it, upload it into the accepted file types here. If you have any trouble, please reach out. Once that's complete, you can hit Save Upload Attachments and return to previous page. Once all sections are complete, you'll have a button here to mark as Submit Your Applications, and then you'll be complete. Congratulations. Again, if you have any questions, please reach out to me, Jeff Howard, Director of Collaborative Impact, at jeff.howard@uwslo.org. Thank you.